Part 1. The Dark Forest and the Enemy. Princess Elara walked slowly through the tall trees. The forest was very dark and quiet. The wind blew through the leaves, making a soft sound. Elara felt cold. She wore a beautiful long pink dress. Her father, the king, gave it to her. He wanted her to look like a perfect princess. But Elara did not want to be a perfect princess. Under her pink dress, she hid a heavy iron sword. She wanted to be a fighter. Suddenly, Elara heard a strange noise. Crack, snap. She stopped walking. She put her hand on her sword. She looked behind a large gray rock. There in the dirt was a baby dragon. The dragon was very small, like a large dog. It had bright red scales. Its tail was caught under a heavy, fallen tree branch. The dragon was trying to pull its tail out. It was scratching the dirt with its sharp claws. Elara pulled out her sword. Her heart beat very fast. In her kingdom, everyone hated dragons. Her father always said, "Dragons are evil monsters. They burn our houses. They eat our sheep." Elara believed her father. She pointed her sword at the baby dragon. The dragon stopped moving. It looked up at Elara. Its eyes were big and yellow. The dragon did not look sad. It looked angry. It opened its mouth and showed its many small, sharp teeth. A little bit of gray smoke came out of its nose. It made a low, angry sound in its throat. Grr. "You are a monster," Elara said quietly. She held her sword tightly. Her hands were shaking. The dragon tried to move again. The heavy branch hurt its tail. A small drop of dark blood fell on the green grass. The dragon looked at the sword, and then it looked at Elara's eyes. It was only a baby, but it was not crying. It was ready to fight her. Elara stood there for a long time. She looked at her sharp sword. She looked at the blood on the grass. They were supposed to be enemies. But Elara could not hit a baby, even a monster baby. She put her sword down on the grass. She walked slowly to the tree branch. The dragon showed its teeth again and tried to bite her dress. "Stop it," Elara said. "I'm helping you." She put both hands on the heavy wood. She pushed with all her strength. Her beautiful pink dress got dirty in the mud. Finally, the branch rolled away. The baby dragon quickly pulled its tail out. It jumped back. It did not run away. It stayed near the rock, watching Elara carefully. They did not trust each other. They stood in the quiet forest, two enemies from two different worlds. Part 2. The Shadow Wolves. Before Elara could pick up her sword, a new sound came from the trees. "How-woo!" It was a terrible sound. Elara felt the hair on her arms stand up. She knew that sound. It was the shadow wolves. They were big, hungry animals that lived deep in the dark parts of the forest. 3 large wolves walked out from behind the trees. Their fur was completely black. Their eyes were shining red in the dark. They looked at Elara. Then, they looked at the baby dragon. They showed their long yellow teeth. They were very hungry. Elara picked up her sword quickly. She looked at the baby dragon. "Run away, little monster," she shouted. "Go back to your mountain. They will eat you." The baby dragon did not run. It stood next to Elara. It hit the ground with its tail. Thump, thump. It opened its small wings. It wanted to look bigger. "You are stupid," Elara yelled at the dragon. "You are too small. You are just a baby. You cannot fight them. Go away." She pushed the dragon with her foot, trying to make it run. But the dragon pushed her foot back. It looked up at her and made a short, loud noise. Bark. It was saying no. It was not going to leave. Elara felt very confused. "Why are you staying?" she asked, her voice shaking. "My people kill your people. We are not friends." The wolves did not wait. The biggest wolf jumped forward. Elara swung her heavy sword. Clang! She hit the wolf's claws. The wolf fell back, but the second wolf jumped from the side. The second wolf bit the bottom of Elara's pink dress and pulled hard. Elara fell down into the mud. Her sword fell out of her hand. It slid across the wet grass, far away from her. "No," Elara cried. She tried to crawl to her sword. The third wolf stepped on Elara's back. It was very heavy. Elara could not breathe. She felt the wolf's hot breath on her neck. She felt its sharp teeth near her skin. She closed her eyes tightly. She thought about her father. She thought her life was finished. Part 3. Fire and Blood. Suddenly, a bright light flashed in the dark forest. Roar! It was not a big roar, but it was full of anger. Elara opened her eyes. The baby dragon was jumping through the air. It flew right over Elara's head. It landed squarely on the back of the wolf that was holding Elara. The dragon opened its mouth wide. Bright yellow and orange fire shot out. The fire hit the wolf's thick fur. The wolf screamed a terrible scream. It jumped off Elara and rolled in the wet mud to stop the fire. The other 2 wolves turned to the little dragon. They were very angry now. The biggest wolf hit the baby dragon with its heavy paw. Smack! The little dragon flew through the air and hit a tree. It fell to the ground. It tried to stand up, but it fell down again. One of its small wings was broken. It was breathing very fast. The biggest wolf walked slowly toward the little dragon. It was ready to kill the baby. Elara watched this from the ground. All her life, she learned that dragons were evil. She learned they had no feelings. But right now, this small monster was giving its life to save her. Her pride was gone. Her rules were gone. She only saw a brave friend who needed help. Elara felt a hot fire in her own chest. She pushed herself up from the mud. She did not care about her torn dress. She did not care about her fear. She ran across the grass and picked up her iron sword. "Hey!" Elara shouted as loud as she could. The big wolf turned its head. Elara ran between the wolf and the baby dragon. She held her sword high in the air. She looked straight into the wolf's red eyes. "You will not touch him." Elara screamed. She swung her sword with all her power. She hit the big wolf on the nose. The wolf cried out in pain. The other wolf saw Elara's wild eyes and the sharp, bloody sword. They saw the baby dragon opening its mouth to make more fire. The wolves were suddenly afraid. They turned around and ran away as fast as they could into the dark trees. Part 4. The Truth in the Quiet. The forest was quiet again. The only sound was the heavy breathing of the princess and the dragon. Elara dropped her sword. Her arms were very tired. Her legs felt weak. She fell to her knees in the wet grass. She looked at her pink dress. It was ruined, covered in mud, dirt, and blood. She turned around and looked at the baby dragon. The dragon was lying near the tree. Its eyes were half closed. It looked very small and very weak. Elara crawled over to the dragon. She was not afraid anymore. She slowly reached out her hand. The dragon did not growl. It did not show its teeth. It just watched her hand. Elara gently touched the dragon's red head. The scales were warm. "I am so sorry," Elara whispered. Tears started to fall from her eyes. They fell down her dirty cheeks. "I called you a monster. I pointed my sword at you. But you saved my life. You are braver than all the soldiers in my father's castle." The little dragon pushed its head into Elara's hand. It made a soft, warm sound, like a cat. Purr. Elara took a clean piece of cloth from the inside of her torn dress. She carefully cleaned the mud and blood from the dragon's broken wing. The dragon closed its eyes and rested. They stayed there for a long time. Elara realized a big truth in that quiet forest. Her father was wrong. The stories were wrong. Good and bad are not about what you look like. Good and bad are about what you do. This dragon had a good, brave heart. "I will call you Leo," Elara said softly, touching his red scales. "Because you fight like a lion." Leo opened one yellow eye, looked at her, and closed it again. He was safe now. Part 5. The New Normal. Many years passed. The tall white castle of the king looked the same, but the life inside was very different. Princess Elara did not wear pink dresses anymore. She wore shining silver armor. She was the head of the king's guard. Everyone in the kingdom knew she was the best fighter in the land. But she never fought alone. In the large courtyard of the castle, a giant red dragon was sleeping in the warm sun. He was no longer a baby. Leo was huge. His wings were as wide as a house. His teeth were as long as swords. The people of the kingdom used to be afraid of dragons, but they were not afraid of Leo. They saw him help farmers pull heavy carts. They saw him light the big fires in the winter. They knew Leo was Elara's best friend. Elara walked into the courtyard. She carried her old iron sword. "Wake up, Leo," she smiled. "It is time for practice." Leo opened his big yellow eyes. He stretched his massive wings and let out a happy sound that shook the ground. He walked over to Elara and gently pushed her shoulder with his huge nose. They walked out of the castle gates together. Elara looked at the giant dragon beside her. She remembered the dark forest and the scared little baby. Life had changed forever because they chose to be brave together. Elara learned the most important lesson in the world. A true friend can come in a scary shape. You must not judge people by their skin or their family. You must judge them by the love and bravery in their heart.
Great job today. Remember, small daily progress is the secret to fluency. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.